What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I hope y'all are having a wonderful, and I mean a wonderful week. We are back at it again. It's your boy, Mr. D. Culiante, back at it again. I got my player partner, Mr. Hilarious Darius, in the building. What is up, sir?
How you doing, sir? I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
Man, I am doing well, man. So I just want to say something, man.
Let me hear it.
I just want to say, life's a journey.
Okay.
And I also want to say, I want to shout out all our ancestors who paved the way for us for Black History Month, man. And I feel in my soul, we as millennials have to continue to push the envelope, man. So we're
Okay.
gonna create some Black history today.
Oh,
Is that cool? Is
that
that
was.
cool?
I love that.
Okay,
I'm on
cool.
board. I'm on board.
I bet. Now we have a guest, ladies and gentlemen. We have a guest. This guest, may I say madam, has accomplished a lot. First of all, she is a technical designer which is like an engineer for the fashion industry, man. If y'all don't know about that, look it up. Okay. She's also very well traveled from my research on her. She's been to her passport is way more filled than mine because I don't have a passport right now. And lastly, she herself has a podcast which has amazing reviews. I'm talking 4.9 out of 5 stars. Okay. Our new friend, Miss Danielle Denise L.A.
Applause. Yes. Air horns, all that.
We need DJ Dante back.
Dude.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
How's your morning been so far?
Well, the day's kind of just started. I woke up all of an hour ago. I was kind of battling these things called cramps. They were fighting me back really hard. So I had to fight them back with some real pills. I was like, all right, let me get this under control. I have stuff to do today.
Love it.
So long story short, not much has been happening.
I've been up for 45 minutes, so
yes. I had some tea, and that's about it.
Oh, are you a big tea drinker?
Oh, I love tea.
Really?
I have a box, and it's full of different teas that I buy all the time. Yes, tea is life.
See, I'm not a big tea person. It tastes like dirty water to me.
You quote unquote season it up. You have to add the lemon and the honey, and then if you like what is it? Ginger. There's all kinds of stuff. I even put a little bit of cayenne pepper in it and a splash of apple cider vinegar. It's super healthy.
Wow.
I know, right? It's so intricate, but it's kind of like, you know what kombucha is?
That's that stuff that's it explodes if you shake it too much, right? Am I tripping?
Yeah. You shouldn't shake that bottle at all. It will go everywhere. But right, it's you've had it before?
No.
Because it's not tea.
I've seen it.
I've seen it too.
Yeah, it's made with fermented mushrooms, so it's rotting mushrooms in this container, and then you're drinking that with sugar and stuff, but it's basically black tea as the base. Long story short, when you add that apple cider vinegar to just any tea, it's very much the same effect to kombucha. So it's just healthier. I feel a little more energized in the morning because I don't drink coffee that much.
Okay.
So that's my alternative to coffee, unless I actually need coffee will always get you right, or for me it does because I don't drink it. So yeah, otherwise it's tea every day. Yeah. Because it's mostly water. I understand dirty water, but you need water,
Water with minerals
and minerals, exactly. Actually, so the one I was drinking earlier is for cramps and stuff.
So what's in it that helps with that?
It's an herb. It's called raspberry leaf tea. And so it's raspberry leaf tea, basically. So, but it basically supports your reproductive system, so it helps us women a lot more.
Wow.
All right.
How do we educated you guys?
Is that a good Valentine's Day gift? Some raspberry
Hey.
leaf tea.
You might want to just pick it up now. Like if you have a girl and you understand her cycle and what she goes through, just go ahead and pick it up. It's cheap. It's at Sprouts and stuff, or even on Amazon. So
Noted.
That was smart,
Yeah.
Deontay. I didn't think about that. Deontay has so many great ideas for Valentine's Day. Every conversation this past week is like, is that a good Valentine's Day gift? I don't know. I was saying drink more water. I didn't know that was
right. How do we go there?
I
love
think
that.
for me personally, like this is kind of new, this whole Valentine's Day stuff. So, you know, I got a lot of women in my life that I want to make sure gets taken care of. My mom, aunts, and stuff like that. So yeah, everybody's getting love this year.
Oh, that's
What's
cute.
up?
Everybody's getting a Valentine's Day gift.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
let's
my
talk
bad.
about this. Let's
What's
talk
up?
about this.
This
Okay.
doesn't sound too sure.
So, all right. So I have my lady, and I'm gonna take care of for sure on Valentine's Day, right? But one thing I'm struggling with is, does everybody get a gift for Valentine's Day? Like,
What,
That's a good
in
question.
general or what?
I
In
mean,
a
like he
relationship?
said, like
Is it
his
like
mom-
Christmas?
Yes.
Oh, it's whatever you want it to be. Like I like Valentine's Day. And even my mom, she'll always get us something, even if it's something small like a teddy bear. Like she just
Mhm.
enjoys the gift giving process. So for me, like I never really hated it. You know how some people come to a point of like either they hate it, like loathe it entirely, or you're in a relationship and it's probably not celebrated as heavily. Like I know when I'm in relationships, I still want to celebrate. Don't get it twisted, but it's not like I'm gonna die if we don't, you know. And we can go like the day before, the day after. We don't have to do it right on the day because you know the day of February 14th, trying to make reservations. Oh, especially now, I don't know what we're gonna do, but it's
point.
probably gonna be a pain in the ass. So you're gonna have to like. I mean, I have no problem going like the 12th. If you
Yeah.
wanna switch up the
Even
dates.
McDonald's is gonna be packed on Valentine's Day.
Everybody.
You know, it's gonna be a busy day for the food industry or just hospitality. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
there's levels to it. But yeah, I think it's up to you. It's up to you if you want to give everyone a gift. Like I feel like I'll get my mom something, but probably not my grandma. Sorry, grandma. Like it's my birthday.
My grandma, it's kind of funny you say that. My grandmother's birthday is on Valentine's Day.
Well, then you have no choice.
I got no choice.
You
Gotta get some
have to
early.
Yeah,
get
she
some early.
deserves. Yeah, that's the thing. Like if it's your birthday and stuff, then or if your birthday's around it, I would probably be like, oh, it's fine.
Can I
get
ask
it.
one more question about Valentine's Day? What have you ever
Yeah.
experienced something a little too cheesy?
On Valentine's Day?
Yeah, because me personally, like I was a server in my day, and I remember I was serving this table, and this guy brought out a all pink design like table cover, and he like before I kind of put down the menu, he's like, here, let me put this table cover down. And it had like their whole, it was like a graffiti table cover, and he had like his little like candles and stuff. I was like, buddy, this is TGIF, but I love the energy.
You know, it was young.
He was young.
And you know, and that's when I can't fault you. If you're like 19, 20 or early 20s, you don't know what you're doing. I get it. Or you can't afford like a nice situation. Or maybe that was nice to him, but he was trying to give a little more razzle dazzle to the table.
Very
I love
razzle
that.
dazzle.
I respect that. Like it corny, maybe a pinch, but it's really like effort. Like that was actually really nice effort to make it seem like a little more nicer of a situation. Like he tried to elevate the situation, and I can't fault him for that. I know if I was younger, I'd be like, "Oh, that was really sweet."
We'll have the
find all kinds of
cheese sticks.
things. Yeah, like, and I'm sure.
Sticks.
Yeah, like it's fine. Nothing wrong with trying to make it nice for your person, going both ways. I know guys get the shorter end of the stick during that day because we want all the stuff. And a lot of times social media will always say that women will reward you in vagina, and you're supposed to be content with that.
That's a
So
scientific word. Very well said.
you know what? That's my question to y'all. So is that enough? Like, do you guys want gifts for Valentine's Day? How do you like to celebrate?
Darius?
That's a
go
great
ahead.
question.
See, I care.
Yeah,
Dude.
we can. It's a great question. I think just making my lady happy at the end of the day. I think just her knowing that I appreciate her. But I always try to make it a point to not just wait for Valentine's Day for her to feel those same feelings. So I'll
Right.
try to do it throughout the year and stuff like that. But I think at the end of the day, though, I don't really anticipate stuff on Valentine's Day because I'm also not a fan of chocolate. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it's a very chocolate heavy
It is
day.
chocolate heavy. You're right.
Yeah, so I don't really care for like don't give me no box of chocolate. Like I don't want all that. But I think for me, just making sure she's happy. And I'll be like, all
Mhm.
right, I did my job. What's the next special occasion I gotta prepare for? You know what I mean? So
Job's
Oh,
not
that's so
finished.
sweet.
Sorry to Kobe Bryant. Job's not finished. Job done.
I just try to get through the day. It definitely put a lot of thought and care into it, but I don't know. Valentine's Day for me, it doesn't rank that high. Like if I can make my lady feel good,
Mm.
I'm good. But if I can get through it, I'm like, ooh, all right, cool. I'm still I'm still in the game. What about you, Deontay? What's your response to that question?
Well, me personally, I haven't really had too many Valentine's Day like dates and stuff like that. So me
Really?
being kind of young with it, I wouldn't mind a gift. Maybe a new silky do rag or something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some oils or something, some candles. Hey, listen, if I'm giving you some gifts, well, hey, let's just keep it nice, keep it fair. Just because
Well,
I'm very
see,
young in the Valentine's Day celebration. So
and then, well, that was what I was getting at is like what constitute as fair,
Mm,
because y'all will spend money
mm,
because we want to go to dinner, we want flowers, we want things that cost. So, I know for me, I can buy you a gift, but like, what would you even want? Like, you want to watch? Actually, you know what's crazy? The other day, somebody hit me up with this whole like, oh, I want you to be my Valentine's thing.
you
ooh.
still
And I'm
get
like,
those?
Hey,
huh?
that stuff be happening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
did
That
it through
stuff be
what,
happening.
text or
It was through text.
okay?
First, it was DMs, and this
Oh
is someone
yeah.
from like the past, and we never dated. We've gone on a date, and it just didn't go nowhere. So, long story short, he kind of like revisited it or tried to rekindle something, and then was like,
Hmm.
"I want you to be my Valentine's and all this and that." And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Okay." I
Was
would
it
like some.
cheesy?
I
His
mean,
approach?
his approach was fine, but then like I was like, okay, we could set this up, but
Okay.
I would like some flowers or something. Like I was just being cute. And then he shot back with like, oh well, I like gifts too. So I would like a PS5. And I'm like, sir,
Whoa.
how does that constitute as a even a trade-off? Like my
What?
flowers are not no 500 plus.
What?
And I I didn't even like respond back. I was like, let me put this phone down. Like I don't have time for this.
What? I want a PS5.
I was
but
like,
Off that, yeah, the
mm,
boldest.
that's not.
but
And you're pursuing me on top of that. Like I wasn't even sure if I was trying to give him that energy. So
that's funny. Because
it
that's his
escalated.
plan though. Like that's his plan to get a PS5. Like I'm sure your name is on a list of many names. And
No
he's
way.
like, you don't think so? A guy
Oh
that's
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
you're right.
If he's
Sorry for
that
him.
bold to ask for a PS5, because he knew where the conversation was going. Like he's like, yes, my end game is a PS5. So he's probably
Trash.
DMing or texting every woman in his phone. Like, hey, will you be my Valentine? Yeah, on one
That is
condition.
so trash. Like, ugh, that's the worst behavior ever. Like, please stay away if that's how you behave. Like, I want a PS5. First of all, why you don't have one yet? I thought
Yeah.
everyone had one by now. People have like
Mm-mm.
7 just to
Mm-mm.
flex.
Mm-mm. Not over here. Not at the
Oh, am I
DMV
Not
lying?
over here,
Well,
home.
yeah.
wow. The internet is a false, it's a fable. It's a
It-
whimsical fable. People
it's
be having shit and don't be having shit for real. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
we no PS5 over here. You know, it's
none.
funny. Every year I'll ask my lady for I play like football and basketball like throughout the year because I don't play a lot of video games. But I say, hey, give me the new 2K, give me the new Madden. I'm good, right? If you get them at Black Friday, you can get two for the price of one. I'm good for the whole year,
So
right?
considerate. You even give it a sales date. You should
I
buy
put
it
a
on
lot.
this day.
You get it this day, you can get both for the price of one. But it was funny because this past year, I didn't get the newest version of it. So we were at the store yesterday, and she was like, "Hey, which one is the new one? Do you have this one?" She picked up like the 2018 version. I was like, because she saw it was the cheapest. I said, "Wait,
You picked up a PlayStation
That's
3.
hilarious. That's what I would have done, low key. I would have been cheap first. Like, let me get him this one that's only $14. I was like 10 years old.
I said, "No, baby, I got that one. You got that one from me, years ago." But then,
She already got it too.
I just got to put her on blast. Like I knew what I was doing, but she was like, "Hey, did I get it for you?" I said, "No, I don't think you got it this year. I don't think you gave me the stuff that you normally give me." So I just got to put her on blast. But no PS5 over here. But I'm still even waiting for this New Year's version of those games. So that should be. If you
They're
guys
on
see
the
her on the
way.
street, let her know.
Yeah. No, they're coming. They're coming. You know what's funny? Sorry to stay on this PS5 fiasco, but it's hilarious that recently I found on Twitter somebody had bought, they thought they bought a PS5 on eBay. They bought a photograph of the PS5 and it's in the description of like the sale thing, and
Oh,
it literally said you are buying a piece of paper with an image of a PS5 printed on it.
that's hilarious. How much did they charge for it?
They spent the full 500. We got it for the full
Oh,
retail price.
oh,
I would have been hot. I would have been
Too early in the
hot.
year
I
to
would
get
have
played. You got played
you would
too
have to
early.
just you would have to just dispute that with your creditor or your bank. Like, listen, they got me, but I can't go down without a fight. This is the only way you could fight. Because how are you going to find that person? You're not going to know where they live.
No,
They just trolled you. You
man.
lost.
I heard a similar story of somebody who bought. They thought they were getting two iPhones for the price of like one. But what the person did was they gave them two iPhone boxes, but they put the right amount of rocks in the box so that the
Ooh,
weight,
scandalous.
you know what I'm saying, would match. So this person got two Apple boxes full of rocks.
So he wants to fight. He chose violence. You have to find him.
It's like, I am not David and Goliath. I don't need rocks for my slingshot. I need an iPhone. That's crazy.
Goliath.
All right, so I got a funny question for y'all then. What's the worst that you've ever been hustled?
Oh.
Hustled. Yikes.
Well, I can kind of mention a story that happened to me about a year ago. So
Uh-oh.
So I was on Instagram and there is this clothing brand that I like. And so like I don't know, like I was always kind of, looking at their page and stuff. And sometimes they would even like some of my photos. So this one time I got like this friend request from this clothing line that I thought, which was the one I liked, but it was a fake one, right? So they hit me in the DM, say, "Hey, got this contest going, and all you need to do is send us your Cash App. We're going to send you $50 plus some clothes," right? So I'm at work too. So I'm like, what? I'm on my lunch break going crazy. Like, yo, I'm about to get some free shirts. Oh yeah. So like I send my Cash App and I don't know how this happened, but somehow they end up taking $50 from me. And then, and luckily, like it was all within my lunch break. So I'm looking at my account like, wow, what that says minus, not plus. So like I immediately got on the phone with my bank. I was like, listen,
that wasn't me
out here. Some crooks, some thieves out here, man. And I was able to kind of get that money back, but it happened so fast. I was like, the black market on the internet is crazy.
No, so, these hackers don't play.
Not, man. So yeah, I'm definitely I like to do shopping in the stores. I risk COVID. Get what I need. I ain't about to be hustling like that.
Damn,
that's
I'm
funny.
so glad you got your money back. That's good.
What about
ended bad. Luckily, that hasn't happened to me. You know what's funny? I do get a lot of those like similar DMs where they're always either trying to bait you with something or saying, "Yeah, just give us your cash app." I'm actually getting a lot. I'm getting an influx of like, "You want a blue check against your name? You just have to pay us or give us your cash app." And I'm like, I don't want to do none of that. But as far as like getting hustled, I actually can vividly remember the time I got hustled while I was working retail, and I used to work in the mall at Spencer Gifts back in the day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, is that still a store?
You said Spencer's?
Yeah, since it's
Yeah,
gifts.
my dad's
She
store.
said, she said
I
gifts.
Yeah,
remember that. Remember
Yeah.
that store?
Yeah, it's like it's not at every mall though, so I don't know where
Yeah,
it's
we
at.
had it. We got it down here.
Good. So I was like a supervisor at this time, but I was young, I was like 18, but long story short, these boys they got me. They got me for some money because they played this like tag team thing and they were both really really cute and they knew how to talk to my coworker and flirted with her, got her distracted, and the other one was talking to me, got me distracted with some shit, bought something wild small or cheap, like that was like 99 cents, but paid with like a big bill, and then I fumbled the bag somehow. Like I don't know what I was doing with the money, but I was like $100 short in my register at the end of the night. And I'm just like, wait, like what? And then like we thought about it because you have to report that anything like over 50.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think those boys, it's something with those boys because not only were they talking a lot, they wanted to see jewelry because if the body jewelry you needed a key to open it, so I had to go open that, and then he had me moving around a lot, so he fucked me up. Or sorry, but either way, he got me my first write up because I was like short as hell in the register. And yeah, but they were in and out. It was funny because it was like all of like 20 minutes, and they were just sweet talking me like, "Oh, you're so cute," da, 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 da. And I'm just like, "Thank you," getting all the feels. And then he's like, "So listen, I have to go. Give me your number." And I'm like, "Yeah, here. No, yeah, do what you have to do."
He's like, I have more places to
My
steal.
number and yeah, he got some money at the same time. Luckily, it wasn't my own. That would be some BS.
Yeah. Dang, y'all got great stories. I asked the question, but I've been thinking this entire time, do I have a hustle story like that? The closest thing I can remember recently is when I was trying to get an engagement ring for my lady. I got hustled by the lady, like the salesperson. Ooh, she saw like, because I went in there knowing what cut a diamond my lady wanted, and the lady was like, she took me for a ride. She was like, "Listen, you want this? How much do you love the girl? Let me show you the visa." So I ended up getting this ring that was like way out of my budget, but I was like, "Yeah, I know it'll mean a lot, blah blah blah." So she was like, "Well, if you can't get it now, we got a couple different options for you. You can do layaway. That way you can take 10 months to plan this very vivid engagement, right? Then the ring will be ready and then you can propose to your lady." I bought it. I was like, yeah, let's do that. So I get the ring. A couple months into it, I'm like, hey, y'all, I think I bit off way more than I could chew with this. So I tried to go in there and get like my money back. And just that process, bro, like, because the company was owned by a different company. Like the diamond company I went to was owned by a bigger company, and they were going through like payroll options, and it was just bad. So it took me a while to get my money back. It took me about like 2 months, 3 months, and I was like, you know what? You said what?
I said 2 months.
Yeah, it took a while, and they had to send me like a check and all this other stuff. So, but yeah.
Damn. Well,
yeah.
As long as you get your money back, that's
I did, but it was brutal.
He made you jump through hoops.
Yes.
He said you already signed the papers. Right. Pause. I see there's like a time remaining thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you see that too? Okay.
I do see that too.
Yeah. I thought I was the only one. That's why I zoned out. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I zoned out. I was like, what is this?
That has never happened before.
Ever. Let's see what's going on here.
You know what? I think that's a Zoom thing. Like you hit a certain amount of hours of recording, they start trying to make you pay for it.
Uh-oh. Well, let me see what's going on.
Everybody saw that.
Look, because I was looking at it and I was telling my story and I was like, huh, I have never seen this before.
I was thinking the same thing,
Let me
bro.
see what's up. Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
I'm glad I stopped us.
I appreciate that because
Yeah. She kept it real. Oh
let's
my
see.
goodness.
Sorry for my cursing. It's like
Oh no, you're fine.
naturally happening.
Look, let's figure this out. Look. What if I got hustled during this experience, just moving really quickly? All right, let's do this. Can y'all can't see my screen, can y'all? I'm about to put my card into this thing.
No.
Okay.
No.
So, yeah, Deontay, if you have any questions for our guests while I'm figuring this out.
Yeah, of course. So I was looking at your website a little bit, and I saw that you went to Amsterdam. I thought that was kind of cool. Would you be able to kind of like talk about some of that experience? Like, I didn't see some of you. It seemed like on your website you took some exclusive pictures that didn't really make it to the Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So like, oh, that's kind of cool. So, and like the food, I thought that was cool. So can you kind of talk about, that experience going to Amsterdam and stuff like that?
And Amsterdam was a good time. Good
Okay.
time. Looking back, I wish I took more pictures. I didn't take a
Okay.
lot at all because I was just living for that week.
Yeah.
And I stayed with a girlfriend and her boyfriend that lived out there.
Wow.
Yeah, so saved some money there, but also she just had already lived there, so she know where to go, what to do. Only thing was she's she is very much nocturnal, so she had me up all night long. We went out every single partying was basically all I did. I didn't go to one museum. I had plans to go to a couple, didn't because we slept in until like 4 or 5 and everything
Yeah.
closes at like 3 4 out there during that time frame. And yeah, but it was great. I had a good time. It's it's small, but it's just so much to do. Like if there's the historical parts of it where you can go visit and go to museums. The parks are beautiful, very green.
Nice.
I will say the marijuana isn't that good. Like Cali definitely is top tier when it comes to quality. But I did
Interesting.
love the coffee shops. They're called coffee shops where you can smoke your cigarettes or your blunts or your
Is it
weed. And
hash?
they had hash, but I didn't do all that. I just stuck to what I know, and the weed was just so so. It was so so. It was
Okay.
tough to get through, but it was like I've had better. I'm a little
Okay.
jaded, but for the most part, like all the drugs are legal there, so I've seen some shit. But I didn't try too much. I did
Okay.
just drink mostly. And by the end of the trip, I was done. I was done
Yeah.
with drinking. I was done with partying. I was like, this is a lot. But their scene is beautiful. As far as like their options of clubs, the red light district isn't that wild. It has that connotation like there's just hoes everywhere, but
Mm.
they're all behind some glass. They're like, and it's very it's not that crazy. Like none of the girls are naked in their windows. It's, if anything, a lot of them looked kind of like not interested. Some of them were on their phones,
That's
like waiting
hilarious.
for somebody, like they were bored. I guess it was a slow night. So they were just they were just there. But good times. It was a good time.
Okay.
Went to a drag show. That was
Okay.
fun. Um what else did we
Did you
do?
see some of the same cultures from America in Amsterdam? Was it
Not so many black people. You saw a sprinkle, you saw like a few here, a few there, but predominantly just white Dutch um people, and they're really tall. I never
yeah.
felt so short. I'm 5'2".
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, even being at my girlfriend's apartment, like the peephole for the door was like another foot taller than me. I was like,
Oh
Jesus,
wow.
like y'all don't, and even like stools at bars, like I'm climbing on a stool like a child. I'm like,
It's a booster seat.
yeah, like I feel so tiny here because they are so tall out there just naturally. But
That
um
is cool. What about, I know you're into well, I know you work in the fashion industry. Did you see anything kind of fashion related that they have there that kind of caught your eye?
I mean, well, we did do a lot of shopping. Like that whole, there's this one area, I forgot what it's called. I think it's called the Dam. And it's just this giant like shopping plaza. You can't say mall because it's like streets and streets and
Wow.
blocks and alleys
Oh, wow.
full of boutiques, full of like department stores. The biggest department store was like, it's called Poshmark. And it's like a Forever 21. I would give them like Forever 21 slash H&M because not all of it was that like cheap, but it was like 5 stories tall. It was so much. You could spend hours in there alone. And yeah, so shopping, eating, drinking, partying were like all that I did on that trip.
Okay.
Fashion forward, like as far as like their fashions, like I mean, they're cool, nothing too crazy because it was winter time. So everyone had like a what were the big brands? Montclair, Canada Goose, like all these expensive coats.
Mm,
But it's Europe, so they're gonna have that. But
yeah.
the better fashions was in Belgium. We went to Belgium for a day, and that's where it
Mhm.
was like, oh, you
Wow.
guys wear the nicer coats.
Wow.
Like, you guys
So,
coordinate your outfits. I see.
so where all have you traveled? Deontay was letting me know that you are very well traveled. He made the joke about your passport
Listen, he
being
made it
better than
sound
mine.
like I traveled every. I want to travel as much as how you made it sound like I traveled. But I guess I've gone to a few places so far. So Paris, London, Belgium, Amsterdam, China, and that's it. Oh, Bahamas, but that's not far.
Yeah, but those are some pretty big names you just named. I feel like if they were celebrities, she would have been like Diddy, 50,
Something light,
the two major LeBron, like China. Are we at war with them or something? But when you go to those places, so were these just like vacations? Were these work related or
Mostly vacations. China was a work trip,
okay?
and that's actually the longest trip out of the country for me. It was a solid 10 days.
Mhm.
Um, definitely went through the motions of like stomach problems. Like you definitely will develop like a stomach issue somewhere. Like I
Just
wouldn't say what
because of
country
the
would do
food?
it. Yeah, yeah. Like because you're adjusting to everything, the type of water that's out there, the type of grease.
Mm,
You really shouldn't drink like tap water in other countries and especially China. So I was a lot of bottled water, but even like if I want tea, that's gonna have to be something boiled or
mhm.
Mm,
distilled. But long story short, Chinese food out there, really good, really phenomenal. But that grease is heavy. There is something different to it where it's like it just sits on your stomach so much longer. And me and Pepto became friends like 5 days into that trip. It was rough. It was rough. And then I didn't have my own room. I had to share a room with one of my other coworkers. So I was just like, oh, if you could just not be there when I'm there. Like we had to like be honest with each other and take shifts. That's how bad it was at one point. And another girl got sick, like vomiting and stuff. So like you never know how you'll react. Like if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, like that's where it's super hard because in China they cook everything with animal meat or animal grease or like fish sauce. It's
Mm,
always going to be infused. So good luck
interesting.
being a
mm.
vegetarian out there. They don't
Look, Deontay, you better stay
have
in the
it.
States.
Nah, I'm.
They-
They got fish out there, right? We be.
Yeah, the fish is phenomenal. It's the best. I've had
Yeah.
grouper. That grouper was amazing. It was steamed. That was actually the lightest of all the things when it was fish. But like the lobster, the shellfish, it was always in some type of. It was a really good sauce, but it was heavy. Like you just felt it as it was going. It was rich,
Mm.
like think of something
Yeah.
really rich, but so good. I would say that it was the best dinners I've had in out of country because it was just like quality, like truffle dumplings, like stuff that
Mhm.
you know this just tastes
Mm.
really
Just don't
good.
get it. Yeah. Just
You
don't
just
get all that here on a
Thanks.
regular
but
basis.
I did try pigeon. Pigeon was interesting.
Oh,
But it's good. It's good. I think you would like it. It tastes just like chicken. It looked like a little chicken wing. It was like this big.
people always say stuff tastes like chicken. I don't even
No,
like
but that
chicken.
really
So-
did. No, that really did. Like, if I could compare it to any bird, it was a chicken. And the way they
Interesting.
eat it was like chicken wings. They had a bunch of them, but
This
they
pigeon wings right here. Pigeon wings. Can I get some lemon pepper pigeon wings, please?
It looked just like it. It was just literally smaller, like maybe this big, like an inch.
Don't let Danielle go to New York. It's pigeon time.
No. I feel like the pigeons out there are different. Like the ones here are like rats, you know. They're called the rats of the sky. So no, thank you.
Okay.
So when you're trying new food though, do you know what you're trying before you try it, or would you rather try it first and then people was like, oh, just so you know, that's donkey that you just ate? Like, what's your preference?
I mean, I like to know. It won't deter me from trying it. I'm more adventurous now than I was, let's say, as a younger kid. I was super picky back in the day. Now I'm like, because I like octopus and squid, you know, things that look crazy. You don't like octopus?
I never tried octopus, but going into Whole Foods, you see the octopus tentacles and all that. You like, whoa, how much is that?
It's expensive too, right? It's a lot.
It is. It's a little different. Hit a little different.
I don't know what is out there for y'all, like restaurant wise, but yes, find a restaurant that has like octopus on the menu because it can be phenomenal. Like if you like squid, it's basically the same thing, maybe a little less rubbery, but and it does have like the little suction cups on the tentacles. So,
I am like horrified during this conversation.
I can't believe this. Okay,
I feel like we gotta have.
Would you guys eat escargot, the snails?
No.
For real? It's really good. I promise.
If my auntie make it, she put some seasoning on it.
Yes. It's seasoned. I promise you. It tastes like if you've ever had like stuffed mushrooms, it tastes just like that.
Ooh,
yeah. It's coming out of a snail shell.
Ooh, y'all are just way more adventurous than I am when it comes to, you know, because I hear about people that like travel. And they'll go to McDonald's because they're like, this is all that I know. This is all that I care to know.
Yeah. There's no shame because they're also different out there. So like they'll have like the standard McDonald's stuff, but then they have like like in France they had like parfaits and croissants, and then in China they had like these weird, I don't want to call them weird, but I don't know what they were, but it looked like lollipops, but it said it had meat in it, and I'm like, okay, that I wasn't trying. I stuck to fries and stuff that I knew.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So at least depending on the country, if they have fast food, it does make it a little easier because like you can handle that for the most part. It's fried, so you shouldn't get sick from like salmonella or anything like that. That's always the biggest fear, is getting sick from like, let's say, raw vegetables or anything that's cooked improperly, because you don't know, but it's always the risk you're gonna take, baby.
Man, that's crazy. So what lessons has traveling taught you?
Lesson. Well, I will definitely say you can't go with everybody. Choose your crew, whoever you're going with, wisely, because I've had a trip and I love her to death. It's like my girl, but she just wasn't, I'll just say she was ignorant, period, because she just didn't understand like other cultures exist. And being that she's American and entitled and feels like if I'm paying for a service, I should get XYZ for it. You know what I mean? So with that said, and you go to Paris, French people already don't like Americans like that. So I was always told by people who've gone to Paris, like, give them at least a bonjour, give them a hello, a greeting in French or something, which actually takes off this like tension that may have built, because they don't care. They've called us stupid Americans once when we were trying to figure out how to buy train tickets because we couldn't read it. And they don't like to translate. They don't like to speak English at all. Like Amsterdam was cool because everybody spoke English. That was like a second language out there. French, it's a second language, but they don't want to do it. So you almost have to like, you have to give a little to get a little.
Wow.
That said, the way restaurants work out there, it's a little different. Like, let's say you didn't like your dish, right? And you need to take it back. doing that out there is like suicide. It's like the most
Wow.
disrespectful thing you could ever do to somebody's chef. Like, it's
They got head chefs out there.
They got head chefs out there. That's what
like they don't play about their cuisine. Like if you come and then this is what you want and this is how you get it. You're not gonna substitute it. You're not gonna switch anything out. Like it's a lot to do. And it even feels weird to do it. Like when you do sit down and you look at the menu and it's like, okay, take something off, fine. But like to try to rearrange this whole meal could get confusing, especially if you don't speak the language. And now you all looking at each other like, so what do you want to do? You know, it's a showdown. So we had an instance like that with my girl and the waitress, and she wasn't trying. She didn't know not one French word to throw at him. And she actually told the waitress, can you find somebody who speaks English better? And this is before we even got our food. So I was like, oh, she's going to spit in our food. She's going to mess us up. We're about to be, we're out of here. And that was like the first night of like Paris. And my mom was on this trip. So she's sitting next to me. She's like, who did you bring on this trip? And I'm like, Mom, I don't know. So for me, as like the curator of the trip, because I handpicked everybody, that girl was actually the last to show up. So she came last minute, but I was like, no, it's fine. It's going to be cool. I did not know this is how she acted. It got bad. It got bad because at another restaurant, she picked a fight with the lady. And I'm like, I don't know how to handle this. I had to like pull her outside. We had to talk. It was a mess. She cried. I was like, this is not how I wanted to go. So that was a long ass story just to say, choose who you go wisely. If you have friends who don't know how to like read the room, check the temperature, understand culture and how things work, how people may operate, because you are on like a defense a little bit in other countries. People know when you're American. So not only do you have to watch your back, and then just being Black women, period. It's like, you never know. So she didn't get it. She didn't get it. After all that, after explaining to her everything that goes on for us and against us, she's just like, well, I just don't understand. Like, in LA, I can always just pay somebody to do this and pay somebody to do that. And I'm like, well, I don't think they care about money here, especially about our money.
We don't your money is not worth anything.
Like, do you know where I'm from?
Right.
You really want that energy?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're in their country. Like, this isn't LA. Like, we can't call anybody, like, what do you call
Ray? Let me call Ray real fast.
Yeah, I don't have the plug. I don't have connects. Like, my nearest homegirl was in Amsterdam. Like I was like, okay, I can call her. She can't come down the street. Amsterdam is 2 hours away.
So, that's crazy. So was that the place that had the biggest culture shock for you?
France was probably I don't want to say culture shock. I would say China was more of that, because that's where like Black women, Black people in general are an anomaly. They want to take your pictures. They want to stare at you. They stare at you so hard. And I did wear like a bigger hairstyle. Like I had like not a weave, but something just big and fluffy, right? And I knew I should have like dialed it down and got braids or something. But I was also like, I feel like I want to wear my hair how I want to wear my hair. But then that also let me know like how that is perceived in other countries like China, where if you're Black, I think they assume you're famous first, which is cute. But it's also like you don't know what they're saying. So the way they like break their neck to look at you, and it's not discreet, it's just like just all in your face. They don't have to be far at all. They could be right here, and it's just a full stare down while speaking in their language, speaking in Mandarin. And I'm like, oh my God, like how do I don't know how to feel about this, it gets uncomfortable. So that was a culture shock, because being that it was a company trip. I'm glad, because like we had a car. We were always safely navigating. We always had someone, a chauffeur. We had a guide. We always had someone with us. There was no way to do that to me alone. I wouldn't have felt comfortable doing that alone, because it was more so the men that kind of made me nervous. The way they just kind of came at me was just real aggressive.
How?
Like, I should not ever have to fight. I just never applied for my life, and I know, and that's why I like always needed that tour guide or like another male presence nearby. And my boss was the only other guy on the trip, so I didn't go nowhere without him or another man.
So how did they?
Wow.
You said that they were aggressive. How so? Like,
Well, because well, okay, so Hong Kong not so aggressive. Hong Kong was very much like being in the States there or being in like Europe because they are British owned, I believe, right?
mm-hmm,
That's the
mm-hmm,
history behind Hong Kong. Yeah, so that felt comfortable. But when we were in like the smaller Chinese city like Ningbo, which is 2 hours outside of Shanghai, we're in like this downtown looking area where it's very metropolis, skyscrapers, businesses. But then the minute you step outside of that, where our factories were, it's like slums. It's a lot more
mm,
poor.
Right.
A lot of people on the street. A lot of putt-putts. A lot going on. And then men, the way men and women carry themselves out there is night and day. Men don't give a flying F about what they got on, what's going on. They will spit indoors, outdoors. Like
ugh,
it was very unsanitary. And then the way they just like came up on women was just aggressive, like basically catcalling in their language, but just like right here, like in
oh,
their face, being inappropriate, touching them inappropriately. And that's what I was trying to avoid because like once I saw it, I was just like, oh, I gotta stay with somebody. I don't have time to. If that happens, I don't know what's gonna happen to me.
mm,
Yeah.
Especially mentally. This trip will be over the second it happens.
Yeah.
wow,
Everything's shut down, and that's not in anybody's control. So I had to control it the best I could. But
Wow.
yeah, it's different out there in the airport. Ooh, ooh. The spitting was what killed me. The way men just like hawk spit in
ugh,
the airport, like at your feet. It was just like I this isn't. I'm not accustomed to this.
that's
This isn't my
nasty.
ministry at all.
Hmm.
So
She said
like
my
wearing a
ministry.
mask, yeah, like that was the time to wear a mask, and that was like 4 years ago now. Like
Wow.
that was the time to really be masked up. So it's funny that we're here now with masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy though, because it just shows that, like, because everybody always talks about, oh, I want to travel. I can't wait to travel. I can't wait to travel. But like you mentioned, you have
Mhm.
to be at a certain point in your life where you can kind of cope with those cultural differences and understand too. Like you were talking about with the Paris story, with the um stories in China. Like you have to understand that, like, although we're all people, those cultural nuances can make the world of a difference.
Right.
And that's very interesting. Like, I don't know if your story excited me to travel or terrified me to travel.
Well, here's the thing. When you're a man, I feel like you don't have to worry about so much of
Mhm.
like how people approach you. Women do because a lot more can happen to us. We're more likely to get kidnapped and other things, right?
Right.
Got you.
So I would say still do it, still do it. You just have to be careful about how you move. That's all. Just to have like just be prepared. I've had a homegirl do like solo traveling, like backpacking and stuff in
Mhm.
Europe. But before she went, she actually took like a what are they called? Like women's defense classes.
Mhm.
Self
Like
defense.
like a self-defense class. Yeah, she took a few of those. And when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I should do that. I feel
Mhm.
like everybody should do that. So at least
Yeah.
you just know how to protect yourself, especially for women,
Mhm.
especially if you don't have your weapons or pepper spray and stuff, because it's hard to get that through TSA, but
Mm.
you're good. However, just knowing how to, at least try to get out of a situation. So,
Wow, that was very insightful.
Yeah. Very. Very true.
right?
Dang, that's awesome. Look, I knew this was gonna be a dope episode.
Very
But
true.
but before we get you out of here, I would love to talk a little bit about your podcast and kind of explore that for a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So, first of all, what inspired you to actually start it?
Yeah.
It was just my love for podcasts in general. I've been listening to podcasts for years. Like they get me through. I used to have a long commute to work, so it would be like my car ride, but then, I'd put headphones on at work and I just continue the day. So I was obsessed. I still am. I love them. Like they're great conversations. I just love like the layout of it. I know it's like listening to radio or like a radio show, but it's just something a little more personal because everyone's different. Personalities are different. And there's a podcast for everything. One that's educational, one that's sex positive, one that's about absolutely nothing and just, best friends just shooting the shit, just having a good time. I love that. I love that energy. And some of them get real vulnerable and I'll cry with them. Like, what? I've never been through that, but I'm an empath. So like, I'll cry at anything. So my love for the podcast really just kind of inspired me. And like, I would always tell my friends, like if we had like a good convo about something, I'm like, oh, this should have been a podcast episode, And then that kind of sparked it. But I was saying it a lot to like the same people. So certain friends were like, Danielle, if you don't just start this podcast, like I'm gonna need you to stop talking about it. Cause I let years go by. I could have started this like 3 years ago. But I didn't know where. And it's scary. It's scary. It's a scary start. But I do think I think my podcast does bring a nice little awareness to things because the angle of my podcast, Girl What, is trying to
Girl, what?
Girl What?
There you go.
Yes, she's a great podcast. But I think for me, it's therapeutic. I just like, talking about new things. I like being educated too. So my podcast does bring awareness, taboo topics, trying to normalize something that is considered quote unquote taboo. What is that anymore? But, even if it's not a taboo topic, we're taking something that's really informational and like really breaking it down, breaking out the gems for people to like either use that for themselves or spread the word. Because I'm all about like awareness and just trying to get people to talk about something and make things grow together and network and build a community. So yeah, I think that answered your question.
No, you did. And Brother Elson, did you have any questions? I did have some more, but I felt like I was asking. I was like,
hogging on the question.
oh yeah, I was like,
well, I kind of want to know. I guess I kind of want to mention two things. So technical design, right? I have a kind of a funny story about that because basically you're making sure everything is corrected before it gets sent out, right? For the most.
Yeah. It's the development process before it's completely shipped to a store. So yeah, our whole goal is to make the clothes fit, make sure the quality is up to par, making sure the factory is doing what we need them to do. And yeah, so it's just completing the whole development process on, let's say, that shirt you have on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's the story.
I like that because it kind of reminded me like back in high school. I could easily spot a fake pair of J's with like a blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying? So if the Michael Jordan was just kind of leaning a certain way, me and my friends were like, that's not really Michael Jordan. He's soaring, but that's a little off. That defect there. I thought that was kind of funny. So I feel like I kind of got that in me as well.
You're quality driven. That's what that is. You're quality driven. But you know what's funny? I don't hate a knockoff. I've seen some fire. Go to China. You don't know what's real and what's fake over there because I'm sure a lot of family members work in the Nike factory because all of the factories are in China of every luxury brand you can think of. Yeah, so there was some, I know, like I knew when it was real because we'd be in like the area that was richy or wealthy. But then when we weren't, I wasn't sure anymore. I wasn't sure because like you could definitely spot some fake J's, but then they had some colorways I had never seen before. And I'm like, well, got me. I don't know.
You're like, I thought Jordan was playing baseball during this period. When did all these come out?
Listen, and they would be kind of fly. It's like, well, I kind of want a pair. You bring that back to the States, they don't know what's real. You can tell them anything. So
I love that. I think another thing that I kind of wanted to kind of touch on is just being from LA. Like I'm so glad we're doing this episode because like you're kind of debunking a lot of ideas I had about like who you will be. You know, being from LA, I was thinking like straight 90s movie, Boys in the Hood and all that for some reason.
For real?
I don't know. But then like when I ran across like your website and how like well put together it was, I'm like, I think I'm sure like everybody in LA kind of has their own version of this. Like I'm sure like the janitor has like a website like I love recycling. This is my products. I love the meal prep. This is what I do. Like I just thought that was like a great thing to have. So like what are some things like being from LA that we need to know, not being from LA? Just debunk a couple things, or just a little bit about the culture in LA.
Before I debunk, do tell me more of like what you thought, because I didn't think you were going to say the Boys in the Hood line. I thought you were LA comes off snooty or something.
That too. Okay. Like just being like being from the South, like we're very big on like hospitality, please and thank you. Like I was thinking y'all don't really do that out there like that, because y'all are always on this hustle and bustle, and it's a lot of money in LA. You know what I'm saying? So you got like millionaires and billionaires out there, but you also got like, you know what I'm saying, people from different neighborhoods. So just a melting pot. So I just wasn't sure on like what to expect a little bit.
Listen, that's hard for me to even answer, because I too am not like from here, but I have been out in the LA area for a decade now, because I came out here for college. But like even then, like I grew up predominantly in the Bay Area, and the Bay Area is different from LA. So LA is very I'll say multifaceted, you know, just like how you said, every part is a part. It's, you know, South LA is ran a little different than West LA, or like the Northeast side, which is Pasadena and up. It's different everywhere. For me, I'm like a suburb girl, so I definitely stay on the outskirts of LA before I hit like the actual city. For me, it is too much hustle and bustle. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of traffic. Everybody wants to be outside. Everybody wants to be seen, because LA is like the home of Hollywood and acting, entertaining, singing. Everybody wants to be everybody wants to be famous. Wow. I don't want to say everybody, but like that's the census or the perception.
That's why you moved to LA. Like
like you have a dream and you want to achieve it. A lot of my friends are from other states, and they are here for songwriting or trying to achieve a goal, and I'm not mad at that. If you can make it happen here, you are doing phenomenal, because it's expensive. It is expensive to survive here, but we're actually a little cheaper than New York. Somehow they're actually more than us as far as like the cost of living, but it's also a smaller, more condensed of a place to be. LA is a lot larger and spreads out pretty far and wide. You know, you could live an hour outside of LA, but you're still like in the county of it. So it's but I would say people are, I mean, I can't say I'm even that nice on the street. Like, I don't first to say hi to anybody.
Bonjour.
If I'm in your country, right? I got you. Learn your greetings and terms, but yeah, I don't. But I'm also not like outside like that. I'm gonna be real. Like, people just walking in my area, it's not like everyone's just outside walking around that much, unless you're walking your dog. That's like a whole conversation. People love dogs. That's a thing.
That's everywhere.
I guess that's everywhere.
We love dogs in this.
But I do feel like the influx of dog parks and stuff is definitely here. Like, you definitely get an apartment that has like its own dog park attached and all that. And I feel like that's what get people talking to you, is your dog. If they see your dog, they want to touch it and be like, and do all that. So
do you have a dog?
I don't have no pets. I'm not a pet person. Like, I thought I could, or I would want a dog, but I keep thinking about it. Like, dogs are much more like children than a cat. Like, you need to always give them attention. Cats, I might have a cat in my future because they're independent. They don't need you for much, you know? They only want to be petted sometimes. I feel like I identify with the cat. Like, you know, like touch sometimes, but then sometimes I'm like, leave me alone. Don't touch me.
That's funny. Have y'all ever had went out to eat with a pet person? Like,
yeah, like some restaurants you can have your dog with you.
It's weird. One time I
a lot.
when I went, this dude, it was like four of us. It was me and my lady, and then this other couple. And the dude was a real big dog lover. So this other guy was outside the restaurant, and we were outside in the patio area. And he pets. This dude walks to his dog, and he's like, "Oh my god, bro, I love your dog. Can I pet it?" So he's petting the dog, and the girl's like, "Oh my god, I love that dog. Let me pet it." So he brings the dog over the rail, hands it to the girl. She
Okay,
petting
that's
it.
a lot.
Right? Then they hand the dog back to the dude. But this is the part that made me laugh. Then fried pickles came to our table, and they want to take their puppy hands and put it all in the pickles.
Oh, let me make my plate first, and you can have the rest. Because what is happening?
Danielle, do you say something in that scenario? Are you saying, "Hey, hand sanitizer"? What are you doing in that scenario?
I'm telling everyone. I said I know I didn't touch the dog, so I'm definitely taking mine. I'm like, before y'all touch this, let me take what I want out of this because I don't have time for your shenanigans.
So you're gonna be direct. Is that what you're saying? You're gonna be direct.
I mean, I say it that crazy, but I'm definitely pulling my plate out first. That's for sure happening. I mean, it depends on how close we are. If we're close, I'm gonna be, "Hey, girl, that's nasty." Please. I'll like, "You want to spray your hands down?" Really, wash it.
What you doing, Deontay? How are you?
I think I'm gonna be kind of grand about it. Hey.
You're gonna stop the show, like everybody.
Let's bless the food and let's go wash our hands. Let's do that. Let's go, everybody.
Love that. As a family,
let's take a trip to the restroom. Everybody, let's go.
Field trip.
Food is here. We got time.
You know what's funny? The way I handled it, I just didn't have pickles. I was like, because it was inappropriate to say like, "Hey," like to be that grand in the moment where we were at was inappropriate. So it was funny because I think they tried to offer me a pickle, like in their hand.
Ew.
Oh, did you eat that pickle?
I did not. I said, "You know what, bro? I'm good on pickles this time." But it's funny because I'm a fried pickle connoisseur. I go to every restaurant. So they knew something was up. And then I just couldn't say, like, am I the only one? They just touched the dog. And then they just touched all the pickles and like put them in single file line. I'm good. I don't want a pickle.
Damn, I would have been hot. Especially if that's like my favorite thing to eat. Yeah, I'm for sure on my plate. Like, okay, so hold on, let me grab this real quick. Here you go. Like, you could have been real suave and discreet with it. Just let me. Okay, here you go.
Yeah, but when I was talking about pet people, I was like, that's funny. I wonder if they ever, because everybody loves dogs, and that was the weird thing. Was it was like, okay, I like dogs too, but if I'm about to eat, there's a time and a place. Like, I pet that dog afterwards, you know. And I think the pandemic had just started and everything. So like, on top of the puppy hands, you got, you know, pandemic. So it was a lot of
pandemic hands.
Yeah, pandemic puppy pickles. I was like, I don't want those. It's
yeah.
Too much going on.
So I want to kind of throw a question out. Just us kind of being similar in age. Do you feel like as you get older, you handle certain situations differently versus you did when you was younger? And I think me personally, like as I mature, get older, I do kind of set boundaries and just like let my authenticity kind of do the speaking. So like for that situation, that's why I said like I'm gonna kind of be me, be grand, I'm gonna be polite, but at the same time, I'm not about to let you put your greasy hands. I didn't put it on the appetizers too. You know what I'm saying? So you feel like
especially if I'm paying for this too,
right?
Yeah. That's not. Yeah, you just have to set these boundaries, and it comes with time and experience. You'll only put up with something so long, you know.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened to me. Had that happened to me, like at all, then yeah, I can understand that first time feeling crazy because you're just like, what do I do? I'm just not gonna eat it. I think I would have resorted to what you did, Darius. I would have just not ate it probably. Like,
I mean, because in that situation, it's like you're the only one making the observation.
Like no one sees this. No one.
Yeah. Nobody else's social awareness is like, did y'all not remember they was just touching puppies? Like you almost touched the puppy. Like I told you not to touch the puppy for that very reason. But I don't know. It was just like I'm not the only one seeing this kind of situation. So
I don't blame you. You didn't do anything because like I said, I would have resorted to that first probably. But if it happened again, words will be quickly exchanged, or I'll just order my own. Be
Mm.
like, you know what? Can you bring another one of those out? And y'all better not touch it. Like
Or
pointing
how about
fingers.
when we eat, let's not touch puppies? Like I think that it is because it was straight up a barrier there. It's like
Was
he's
it a
going.
big dog? How big was this?
No, it was one that could be lift over a fence. So it was one of those where you can do like you can showcase the dog like this.
Everybody can touch and hold a dog.
But was it like hairy? Because like there's just so much on a dog.
Yes, but you know what it was though? This is the part that irritated me the most was that the dog got a lot of attention. You could tell that this dude like takes his
does
dog out
that.
for women attention. So everybody's touching the dog first. Like, oh my God, he's so cute. He's so cute. Just like all 20 people just touching the dog. Then the people we eating dinner with decides to take it above. Like, not only am I gonna touch the dog, I'm gonna grab the dog and bring it into my world. So he like, hey everybody, look at this dog. I got the cute dog. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of that going on. And then he was like, oh, are those pickles? Here, take the dog. Let me get some pickles.
It was basically a trophy pet. Like,
Yes.
you literally got a trophy pet up in this restaurant. Was that indoors or outdoors?
It was a patio area. So
okay. I was about
where
to
we were at, was the patio. The only thing that separated the patio from outside was a fence, like a little small like dog park fence.
So okay, now I'm thinking about where you guys are at. Texas was pretty open all pandemic, no? Like you guys have had your outdoor, or they like
it
what
shut
is it?
down. It shut down for about like
Yeah.
what 6 weeks to 2 months, 3 months. It was like so. This was right when it kind of. This was the summertime, so this was the end of the summer, so probably like August, September of last year. So it had kind of opened up, and you had a lot of people just excited to be out. Everybody was still, social distancing and stuff like that, but it just seemed like everybody that was social distancing stopped when that dog came around. So
Things canceled.
Yeah.
No, that's how people really act. They go nuts over a dog. It's like, calm down. A lot of things.
But no, I think that was an interesting question that you asked, Deontay, about like handling things as you get older now. Because I think I tolerate less, but I'm always socially aware. So like in a situation like that, I always have something to say. I'm very opinionated, but it was just like, will me being opinionated in this situation cause more harm than good?
Got you.
You know? So that was a good question, though. It was a great question.
Sorry, we derailed about dogs.
No.
That's what this show is about.
Everybody loves dogs.
That's what happens. That's what happens. It brings so much unwanted attention. Like you have to like attention, like your dog will get attention. So you going on walks. Because I see people do it all the time where they just like walk up on a dog. They don't greet the other person or nothing. They're just like, oh, all in the mix of the dog. I know if that would my dog, I'd be so irritated. Like, get off. First of all, hello. Say hello to me first. I'm the owner. Second, who said you can touch my dog? Ask for consent, please.
Consent. Not permission, consent.
Permission, it's all the same thing. But, a dog is like a baby for me because it's like it's your creature.
Are y'all letting a dog lick your face?
Never.
Deontay, you don't sound.
Okay.
You're one of those?
So my mom has a toy poodle. You know what I'm saying? So I have
like little ones.
It's a little one.
Oh
so I have a relationship with. His name is Tuffy too. I have a relationship with Tuffy. Now maybe he could, you know what I'm saying, give me a lick on the face, but nobody else's dog. I'm definitely doing that on him. You know what I'm saying?
Dodging and dipping and weaving.
I'm dodging. Let me ask you this though. I'm kind of curious. So what if you're dating somebody and you're not a fan of their dog?
It'll show. It'll show on my face before I say anything. They're like, you don't like dogs? I'm like, what made you say that?
Yeah.
My face?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I got a friend. His name is Jim. And Jim was dating a young lady, and Jim's girlfriend's dog is huge and will like jump on Jim and like growl at Jim. And it's just like every time Jim hangs with his girl, it's a lot of like frustration. I think Jim almost like put the dog in a chokehold just because the dog wouldn't calm down one time.
What kind of dog is it? Is it like
a big old
what
giant mutt? Some big old giant no, I mean silly. But could that kind of slow down a relationship for you?
Absolutely. What? I have like a small fear of dogs. I feel like I'm nervous first. Like I gotta see what this dog does. Even the small ones. The small ones are even worse because my homegirl has 2 of them. I call one of them's name is Lucy. I just call it the devil because it bit me. It bit my ankle and heels. I was like, bitch, get away from me. Like I will kick you and I don't want to. Like, I will resort to violence if they resort to violence first. But I try not to. So that's why I'm a little scared first. And if they're big, then I'm intimidated.
That's interesting because I think for me, if I'm in a situation where the dog, say I'm Jim, and the dog is putting me in a type of emotional position where I have to like turn to Will Smith and I Am Legend with the dog, choking the dog out every time I want to see my lady. That's an issue. And I think it's also like, you ever been around somebody and they're like, oh, my dog doesn't bite. No, he has teeth. He bites. You know what I'm saying? He may not bite you, but especially if it's a big dog and they're like, oh, he's just a lap dog. It's like, okay, y'all. Well, I don't
want dog hair. I got on cologne. I don't want dog hair on me, man. Get your dog.
Right. Because he's a lap dog don't mean he need to be on my lap.
Exactly.
It was one time Jim called FaceTime me. He was like, yo, bro, I'm about to go see my lady. He was fresh. And he went over there and he told me that the dog just kept jumping on him and messing up his outfit. He was like, yo, listen. Don't be trying to
ass dog. Like, he was roughing him up.
Like roughing him up, man. Like
checking him for change. Like, what you got on you? What you got on you?
You know what I'm saying? Nose everywhere. Now he smells like the dog. Cause Jim can't see the girl. Now he end up leaving smelling like the dog. Man, I say, see, Jim, I can't be in your position, player. Can't be in that position.
So disheveled. He's like, he was stressed out.
That's embarrassing too, because you know how much work it takes to get ready for a date. Like,
yeah,
you're preparing hours beforehand.
And here's the thing: Jim told me that his girl be looking at him like he weak because he afraid of the dog. You really gonna be running? Do you really have to run around the apartment like this? Do you really? You know what I'm saying? Can you put your shoes down, Jim? Like the dog is not gonna mess up your shoes. Jim is terrified. He's like, I wait on the patio. Jim waits on the patio when she's getting ready in the bathroom.
Oh,
I'll be out here on the patio.
Rough. That is rough.
Jim now smokes cigarettes now. He's always on the patio.
He just developed a new habit trying to cope.
Stressed out. He's just stressed.
Yeah, see, if a dog is bringing that much stress in my life, we just don't have to do this.
Oh, my gosh, that's funny.
Because I want to ask you, it's either me or the dog, but at the same time, this is your dog. The dog was here before me. I get it.
That's funny.
I'll sacrifice that relationship. Fuck all that.
That's a stressful situation to be in, though. Like the dog, and the dog knows he's punking you. You know what I mean? Like the dog is like, "This is my woman." Like, you
Jim
just got here, baby boy.
Jim be telling me like, yeah, like Jim be like, yeah, my girl be saying stuff like, he only acts like this when you get here. I'm like, yo, Jim.
Damn,
that's a lot.
Well, I think the dog is Right. It's either one or two things. Genuinely playing with him. Like he just really thinks he's just a toy or something. Like, oh, he wants to play. He's here to play with me.
He's here running around. He don't even.
Yeah. But if there's a lot of growling involved, I don't think that's playing at all. It depends on the tone of the dog.
The tone and cadence of the dog.
Sounds very wolf-like.
Right.
He's joking. He's joking.
Wagging their tail. That's a good thing. That means they like you.
That's a lot of nonverbal cues you really got to pay attention to.
You got to read the room. Right. You better check the temperature then. Because, you might be fighting that dog for life. That dog is protective of his owner. And that's probably too, the protection thing, like territorial.
Mm-hmm.
So, no thanks. I don't see a dog for me. But if I did, I always liked pugs. Like they're kind of ugly but cute at the same time.
That's the one with the pickles. That was the dog. It was a
Oh,
pug.
full circle.
Pickle pug.
around.
Yes. It was a pug. I couldn't think of the brand. I was like, what is the type of dog that it was?
He was
But
probably snotting all over dude's
Ugh.
hand.
Yeah, they make a lot of like pig noises. Like,
yeah. It's because they okay. Fun fact. I'm known for these random fun facts. They were
Love
saying that like when pugs were genetically designed, they're
Mhm.
like a misbreed. Like whoever forced them to be the
Mm.
way they were, that's not the way they should have been. So that's why they have like breathing issues because they're like messed up from the start. So little
Yeah.
fun fact for the audience.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, like that's how a lot of these cute dogs are made. They're just inbred down to the bone.
Mhm.
It's really gross when you think about it,
Yeah.
but that's why they have the worst immune systems, or they can't breathe. They have
Mhm.
no respiratory, and they're gonna have a
Mhm.
very short life.
Mhm.
So when you think about all these cute dogs, you don't see them long
Yeah.
because
Yeah. See,
like
I
the
don't
ones
even
that are like
know.
this big, that are
Mhm.
like teacup
Mhm.
ish. Yeah, I don't know what they do to make those, but they don't
Yeah.
look like they're gonna live that long, to be honest.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you that pickle dog is gone. I guarantee you he's like no.
Dang,
Pickle
man.
dog.
You wishing
Oh, rest
wishing
in
that on the pickle dog. R.I.P. to the pickle dog. He didn't make it past
he didn't make it
The
past
the
pandemic.
pickles. Yeah, he didn't make it past the pandemic.
poor thing.
Yeah, bad immune system. Just
He was probably tired of being passed around too. Like,
I
dang,
bet because he
pickles. Like, what?
yes. That's funny.
After that, bless him though. He tried.
it's funny,
Thing.
man.
But yeah,
Oh my goodness. All right. So I want to just leave this last question. I'm loving this conversation, by
This
the
has
way.
been fun. I like the way it's just randomly going where it
Yeah.
goes.
totally.
Yeah.
It derails a little bit, but it comes right back.
Exactly.
Yes. Girl, what's this is a journey. This is a journey. Check out her podcast. What you doing? After you leave here, go to her podcast. Go to her podcast.
That's funny.
So I just want to I guess I would want to kind of talk about a couple things, but with it being Black History Month and just knowing our history and knowing that we're on our own journeys to kind of create our own history, what is something you want to be remembered as? Like, you know, when it's all said and done, you know, how do you kind of want to be? How you want to be remembered?
That's a deep question.
It's super deep. I don't know.
Remembered.
How you want to be remembered? Yeah.
What's your
Yeah.
legacy?
Yeah, legacy letters. Let's go.
Jeez.
All right.
See, that's the beauty of a journey. I don't even know where I'm going to be all the way, but I'm gonna say, like, what do I want to be remembered as? I want to be remembered as, at least part of it. I want career wise, like my technical design career, doing like specialty items, swimwear, knitwear, and everything that I currently work on. I would love to try to carry that as far as to the future as I can, because that is my, like, at the end of the day, fashion was always my passion. You know, I went to school for this, and this is what I've been doing the last 7 years after college. So definitely want to be known as um someone who, or just a Black woman who made certain strides in the fashion industry, whether I was doing the technical thing, maybe a creative directing role, maybe starting my brand, a clothing line of some sort. I would love for my podcast to take off to a point where that could be a part of my legacy, and like the Girl What franchise,
Yeah.
branching off to different things, maybe a network or merch or just something like just bigger. Like I want to think bigger about that too. That's like another goal of mine with the podcast. What else? God, just remember just being like just just a beautiful being, just inside and out. Like physical beauty is one thing, of course, but just, you know, like I like the fact that the way I carry myself is strong but nurturing, fun, flirty, but also like you don't play with her, like she has her boundaries, and just being like this, you know, this ball of energy that people like to be around. Like everyone has an aura, you know. So I like when people say, you know, I like your energy, or, you know, the new trendy word is vibe. Like, oh, I like your vibe. You're such a vibe. And as cheesy and corny as it can sound, it is like, it's true. It's true. It's like, I like being around you because you bring something. You bring something to the table, but like your energy speaks for itself. You know, you don't have to pull it out of me, and it's genuine, it's real. Like if I'm doing something, I'm doing it with intent and purpose, and but I'm also putting myself first in the mix. I'm not trying to just do it for clout or just do it because it's trendy. Like I'm doing it because it feels good to me. It's making me, you know, grow into a bigger and better person. So
That's
yeah.
a great
Well
answer.
said. Well
Like, I'm
said.
curious to hear yours, Deontay. That was awesome.
Yeah. Can I take some of hers? Because that
Right?
was
That was
really
vibe
good.
and auras.
That
And
was
that was
vibe.
beautiful. We
Yeah.
gotta bring it now.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, what's your
Take all that
legacy?
in. Well, I would say, with me being in school, I definitely want to make an impact in the dental industry.
Like mental health?
No,
Oh,
dental health,
dental. That's
dental
right.
health.
That's
Yeah.
right. Sorry.
And kind of be able to kind of travel with that and help people not only in America, but like I love to do something in Africa. I kind of always inspire to do something like that. But that career wise, also like with this podcast too, I like what I got going on with Darius. I have this idea of somehow combining dental health and comedy together, marrying the two and doing something kind of grand, like a health fair with like comedy. I
Oh,
kind of see that
cute.
happening.
Yeah.
So working on that, and then just trying to be every day, just work on being a better version of myself, being an authentic person, spending quality time with my family. Want to be known for that, and just like you said, kind of just growing every day, and just life's a journey, man. So just going with the flow of things too. So yeah, very short. Darius, there you go, sir.
How you pass the
Hey, man,
rock?
pass the rock to you. There you go.
Man, you guys both gave very beautiful answers. And it's funny because as you were talking about that, man, I couldn't help but think about Kobe. You know what I mean? It's been about a year since he's passed away. And I found myself earlier this week watching compilations of Kobe stories, like people from all walks of life telling their version of a Kobe story. And it's like this thing to have a Kobe story. And for me, what I was just thinking about is just being able to have that type of impact on people's lives, like being able to have an impact where when people are like, yo, how was your experience with Darius, Hilarious Darius, however you know me as, like, how was your experience? Like, I wanted to be like, man, let me tell you what my moment was like with him. And I think similar to what both you guys said with this platform, there's something very liberating about having your own platform. And just this idea that you can scale it is and touch as many people as you can reach. It's something very beautiful in that. So like Deontay said, figuring out ways to continue to grow this brand and do more like content creation. Another thing that's really important to me is kind of Black owned media. Having little siblings and little cousins, just seeing how little they have themselves represented on television and film just kind of bothers me. So wanting to be a solution to that problem. And just chasing happiness, freedom. I just want to be a good man, good husband, good father, good friend, good, like, just a good person. I want great vibes, like great question, great
Right.
response, Danielle. And for me, man, I want my dash to mean something. You know what I mean? So like when you born, you got that date. When you die, you got that date. Like I want my dash to not be wasted.
I
So
love that.
yeah. So
Cool. Oh,
that's all I got.
good.
Well said, bro. And Dash,
I want my dash to
have
mean something
you
between.
been walking through a graveyard or something, brother? I want to make sure I leave a legacy.
you know, you know what's funny? This is gonna sound super unconnected. Before we started this podcast, I was rewatching The People versus O.J. Simpson, and I just started thinking about O.J. Simpson's legacy, and I'm like, man, like he was this kind of star athlete, kind of went crazy, prison, blah, blah. So I was thinking about that. And I was like, man, I really want my dash to mean something. So that's kind of where it came from. But
Well said, sir. Poetic.
Yeah,
Very poetic, man.
did that. Well, I need to write that down. That was
Right. That's a vibe, man. Vibe. Vibe check.
Come on, vibe check.
man,
Oh
this has been
my
fun. This has been fun, y'all. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you not entertained? We have given you greatness. Right? We've connected all the way to LA. Listen, I want to thank Danielle for taking us across the pond, taking us to China and all that, all them places. We didn't need no passport for that. Thank you for that. Okay.
No problem.
I want to thank Darius for coming through and giving us some good game too, man. This has been another great episode of the D&D Experience. To the audience out there, please, and I mean please, go check out Girl What by Danielle Denise LA. We love y'all. We see y'all next time. Hasta luego.